The following podcast is a part of RadioMisfits.com. And now it's time for the Mr. Nailsin Show. Did the Soviet Union battle with aliens? And were their soldiers turned to stone? Perhaps, but maybe not. A declassified Cold War era file from the CIA has gone viral over its coverage of a supposed clash between Soviet soldiers and a UFO, passengers of which reportedly turned the troops to stone before blasting off. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the CIA acquired a 250-page KGB report recounting the events that transpired after a platoon fired at a flying saucer over Ukraine. The report included eyewitness accounts and pictures of the aftermath, which one American agent described as a horrific picture of revenge on the part of extraterrestrial creatures. A picture that makes one's blood freeze. The report claims Soviets conducting a training exercise in Ukraine spotted a low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer soaring above their heads. During the encounter, one of the Soviets fired a surface-to-air missile which struck the UFO and sent it crashing to the ground. It fell to Earth not far away, and 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes emerged from it, the report claims. After escaping the debris of their ruined ship, the beings huddled together and merged into a single object that acquired a spherical shape. In a few seconds, the spheres grew much bigger and exploded by flaring up with an extremely bright light. At that very instant, 23 soldiers who had watched the phenomenon turned into stone poles. Only 2 soldiers who stood in the shade were less exposed to the luminous explosion survived. The KGB allegedly took custody of the petrified soldiers and the ruined spacecraft, which were transported to a secret base near Moscow. The Soviet scientists found that whatever the light was, it somehow transformed the soldiers' living cells into a substance that was identical to limestone. If the KGB files corresponds to reality, this is an extremely menacing case, the CIA concluded. The aliens possess such weapons and technology that go beyond all our assumptions. They can stand up for themselves if attacked. The CIA document was declassified in 2000 and originally covered by the Canadian Weekly World News and the Ukrainian paper Holos Ukraini. But it has remained of interest to UFO aficionados and was even featured on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast last year. Stories of unidentified aerial phenomena and alien visitors have resurfaced in the public's mind following the Department of Defense's establishment of the UAP Task Force in 2020. It saw the government release a plethora of new files on the mysterious flying objects recorded by the federal government with a goal to detect, analyze, and catalog the UAPs. So, did Soviet Union soldiers clash with aliens from outer space? And did they suffer the fate the likes of which is from the gaze of Medusa? Perhaps, but maybe not. You're listening to the Mr. Nailsin Show here on RadioMisfits.com. And now, it's time for the Bayou Crime Report. Woman pleads guilty to manslaughter after toddler beaten to death while children were left unattended. Hey, I'm Red Neckerton. A woman submitted a guilty plea for manslaughter and cruelty to juveniles after her daughter, Blessing Buckles, was beaten to death while left with multiple unattended children. So you see, she didn't beat the child, the other kids did. Denisha Yates, 27, left her daughter at home with a group of children, including a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old boy. Yates and Terica Scott returned hours later at Yates's home after Buckles was found beaten and unresponsive. The women told deputies they had just left the casino. Good Lord. Arrest paperwork said Yates and Scott left 8 children with ages from 11 months to 12 years old. Left them home alone while they were gambling. During an interview after Blessing's death, Yates told officers that her and her children were staying with Scott for 2 weeks before the death happened. Buckles died days later, resulting in the 10-year-old and 12-year-old boys to be booked for second-degree murder and battery. Yates entered a best interest plea of guilty, which doesn't require her to formally admit guilt, but still results in the same outcome. She was sentenced to 15 years in prison, with all but 18 months of that sentence being suspended. Yates also pled guilty to 2 unrelated theft cases. Meanwhile, her gal pal, Scott, pled not guilty. Oh, well, I don't think that's gonna hold up. You're just as responsible, goddamn stupid bitches. Look, I know good help is hard to find, but if you can't get a hold of a decent babysitter, then you can't go to the casino. Goddamn, you gambled with your money, but you also gambled with children's lives. Oh, well. For the Bayou Crime Report, I am Red Neckerton. The Bayou Crime Report is a presentation of Nailsin Productions. Has NASA discovered a mysterious portal on the planet Mars that could lead to a new world of alien life? Perhaps, but maybe not. NASA has admitted that an over 300-foot wide hole in the surface of Mars could be a portal leading to an underground world of alien life. The space agency shared the shocking image of a massive opening in the Martian landscape for its astronomy picture of the day. Rather than leave people with a mystery, NASA speculated that the giant hole appears to lead to a mysterious lower level that may support life.
Holes such as this are of particular interest because they might be portals to lower levels that extend into expansive underground caves,
NASA researchers said.
If so, these naturally occurring tunnels are relatively protected from the harsh surface of Mars, making them relatively good candidates to contain Martian life,
they continued. It's quite a statement by NASA, which has consistently tried to manage the public's expectations of finding extraterrestrial life both on other planets and here on Earth. So far, the focus has been on microbial life that may be hiding in frozen oceans on Earth's neighboring planets and moons. However, researchers noted that there could be expansive underground caves on the other side of this hole, adding that this area could soon become a major target of future astronauts landing on Mars. NASA pointed out that this image, originally taken in 2017 by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, actually shows several holes in the planet's surface.
There are numerous holes pictured in this Swiss cheese-like landscape, with all but one of them showing a dusty, dark, Martian terrain beneath evaporating light carbon dioxide ice,
the researchers said. The most notable ditch in the perfectly rounded hole in the upper right portion of the satellite photo, a giant cavity spanning roughly 328 feet. Making the discovery even more mysterious is the fact that this hole also has a circular crater surrounding it. As for what caused it, the NASA team speculated that it may have been created by a meteor impact. But the larger, bigger question now is what's sitting at the other end of this pit.
These pits are therefore also prime targets for possible future spacecraft, robots, and even human interplanetary explorers,
NASA added. Although scientists believe Mars was once more Earth-like billions of years ago, the best hope of finding signs of life today rests in NASA's rovers, satellites, and future astronauts discovering underground caves or lava tubes in the long, dead Martian surface. Since Mars now lacks a strong magnetic field and thick atmosphere, its surface is constantly bombarded by high levels of cosmic and solar radiation, which can be deadly to life as we know it. However, life may have been able to survive below the soil thanks to the natural shielding of these caves and tubes, meaning astronauts might be able to find evidence or even fossils of living organisms here. America's experts on underground mysteries and seismic activity, the U.S. Geological Survey, were even brought in to find these caves. In 2019, the USGS Archaeology Science Center revealed a stunning map detailing over 1,000 candidates that their experts believe could be cave entrances scattered throughout the surface of Mars. Unfortunately, USGS noted that their review used data coming in from probes flying 250 miles above the Martian surface. Glenn Cushing, a space scientist from the USGS Astrogeology Space Center, said it is impossible to see how far any of them extend beneath the surface. Not knowing which instances are caves and which are merely alcoves with modest lateral extent, we are careful to express that these are candidate cave entrances. Other space missions, including the European Space Agency's Mars Express, have also found evidence of ancient lava tubes beneath the planet's dormant volcanoes. However, this newly released photo makes it undeniably clear that there's at least one hole on Mars which leads to an unknown subterranean lair. The soonest human astronauts may be able to see this enormous hole for themselves could be in 2028. SpaceX founder Elon Musk recently appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, where he rapidly accelerated the timeline for people arriving on the Red Planet. Previously, the goal was to land the first astronauts on Mars by 2030, at the earliest. Musk said that SpaceX's default plan was to launch several starships to Mars at the end of next year. These are the same type of space vehicles SpaceX has been testing, with some of the recent tests ending in a fiery explosion. These missions would also have no crews and would see if the vehicles could successfully land on the Red Planet. Musk added that he's hoping his company will launch a total of 5 of these remote-controlled starships to Mars in 2026. So, could there be life on Mars existing somewhere deep below the surface of the planet? Perhaps, but maybe not. And now, from Nailsin Productions comes a space opera adventure like no other. Bubba Stargone and the Uranus Patrol!
Wait a minute! That means, that I'll be aboard the Edsel right up to the moment that we detonate the explosives.
Well, yeah, Thing, but remember, you told me there's a plan for us to escape through the teleport. Dr. Lear himself's going to set it up. Right, Doc?
Oh, yes, I'm working on it now.
Working on it?
Holy crap.
Oh, boy. Hey, here's Booze. Booze, what the hell's going on? Well, at the moment, Deputy Tag is stable and resting up. Despite my having to unload stored supplies due to make room for this mission, I was able to patch him up and, stitch up his ass and guts.
Stitch up his ass and guts?
Well, yeah, this creature came out of his ass.
What the hell's going on here?
Well, as I said, the creature got away pretty quickly and escaped somewhere into the ship. Oh, man, well, that's just great. But the important thing here is, Bubba, due to some DNA analysis of some of the residue left by the creature from Tag's ass. Oh, man! Well, the findings show that the DNA sequence is a match for the lizard creatures of Dr. Moronicus.
What? How the hell could that happen? I mean, how could a lizard be up his ass?
Wait a minute. It all makes sense.
It does?
Well, yeah. Remember when we were investigating that old shuttlecraft that we found, and we discovered those, Moronicus's lizards in hibernation there. Okay. When Tag activated it and opened up the chamber, one of those lizard creatures Well, assaulted his ass.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Are you telling me one of those lizard guys knocked up Tag? Well, that seems to be the case, I mean, in a roundabout way. My guess is it was a fully formed egg that the lizard was carrying and, just implanted it in the Tag. Probably the lizard was supposed to feed off his corpse, but, it got scared from us attacking it or whatever, running it off, and we were able to save Tag and stabilize him, so, kinda knocked up,
Well,
Tag.
all right, then. It's some little creature. It shouldn't be hard to dispose of. And it's just the one, right?
That's all I saw come out.
All right, then. We should be able to make short work of that, and there shouldn't be any further problem unless... Oh, crap. You don't think it would attempt to burrow in one of our asses?
To be honest, I don't know what it'll do. This is a whole new species,
Oh, great. Oh, God.
All right, look, give me the horn here. I'm going to call up Mr. Spot and have him deploy the security teams to be on the lookout for this little lizard. Hey, Spot, it's Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
Yeah, listen, buddy, you're going to have to make up some teams to hunt down this lizard thing.
Lizard thing?
It turns out the reason we're in quarantine is because yet another one of those damn lizard creatures from Dr. Moronicus is on the loose.
What? How the hell did it get on board?
Oh, well, it seems, those lizard guys that you and Ludi woke up in that old shuttle, one of them poked old Tag in the ass and laid an egg in him.
Oh, yeah. I do remember Tag being assaulted in the butt.
What, really? I mean, hey, look, I'm the captain of the ship. Why am I just now hearing about this?
Well, it was in the official report, Bubba. Didn't you read it?
No.
Well, that's about right. Why am I not surprised? Now we're all in danger for some sick, parasitic, ass-poking monster.
Oh, no. Could this be true? Are the crew of the Edsel in danger because Bubba just never got around to reading reports? Find out in the next exciting episode of Bubba Stargone and the Uranus Patrol. Bubba Stargone and the Uranus Patrol is written and performed by me, Douglas Nailsin, with music provided by Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources. And now it's time for I Can't Even with Lefty Tuddington.
Hey guys, it's your old pal, Lefty Tuddington. And guess what? Something amazing happened. The first space mission to feature an all-female crew since Soviet Union cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova's solo mission all the way back in 1963 saw Katy Perry joined by Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, CBS presenter Gail King, former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe, civil rights activist Amanda Wynn, and film producer Carrie Ann Flynn. Oh, yeah, burn, boom. Fortunately, everything went without a hitch. Of course. I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean, these girls got it, they just do. with the crew soaring to the edge of space and then back again, all within a period of around 10 minutes. You know, they got it done. They did what they needed. They got their selfies and came back safe and sound without a hitch, you know, because look, girls rule. They just do. During the flight, Perry reportedly sang a rendition of Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. Oh my God. This, that. I mean, need I say more? That's just beautiful. God, I love her. Upon arriving back on Earth, she kissed the ground and said that she felt super connected to life. She also teased that she would be writing a new song about the experience. Oh, you go, girl. The other crew members also expressed their thoughts about the trip, with rocket scientist Aisha Boo stating that she would never be the same. There are no boundaries. There's no border. There's just Earth. That's what she said. That's right. That's right. Gail Keane, meanwhile, noted how quiet everything was. It's oddly quiet when you get up there, she said. It's really quiet and peaceful, and you look down on the planet and think, that's where we came from. Oh my God. Who makes observations like that, you know? It's really special. For me, it's such a reminder about how we need to do better. Be better. Oh my God, Gail. Oh my God. It's so true, you know? So true. Thank God for these brave women to dare shatter the ultimate glass ceiling in the atmosphere of planet Earth. That's right. That's right. So, of course, there's haters. There always are. And, you know, even some suggesting the whole thing was fake and stuff like that. I mean, you know, who cares, really? Who cares? They're just incels anyway. And they're terrified of strong women. But, you know, you just gotta have to suck it. Because, boy, did they really conquer the world that day. That's right. Another one who needs to suck it is Elon. You're not the only rocket man in town. Bezos has got it going on. And guess what he's got? He's got a whole crew of rocket women. That's right. That's right. I mean, I can't even.
This has been I Can't Even with Lefty Turdington. Lefty Turdington is a frequent co-host of the Mr. Nailsin Show podcast on RadioMisfits.com. The views and opinions of Lefty Turdington do not necessarily reflect those of RadioMisfits.com or any other platform he may appear on. So, any comments and or complaints should be sent to someone who cares. The views and opinions expressed during the Mr. Nailsin Show do not necessarily reflect those held by RadioMisfits.com. So, any complaints and or comments should be sent to @Mr. Nailsin on Twitter, where they will be promptly ignored and or blocked.
Oh my God. This, that. I mean, need I say more? It's just beautiful. God, I love her.